Hey guys, and welcome back. Today's one of the rare days where it's warmer outside than it is inside. We opened the door about 5 minutes ago. It was 38 in here and it's up to 50 outside. So let the melting begin. The driveway was a complete 1-inch thick sheet of ice and it's thawing itself out fairly nicely. Anyway, today's project is this guy. This guy is I think it's a 74, I forget. Super Beetle. I have kind of turned into the local curator of old VWs, and over the summertime I see different people and whatnot, and I am the helper of things not right, I guess. And this is one of a few that I've committed to do some work on, and I want to get this one knocked out. This one I don't know if I made a video on this one once before. It just had to do a bunch of not running right issues. I seem to have that pretty squared away, but it does have some rust issues, so we are going to get into some rust repair on it. It's getting pretty bedazzled. It looks like it's getting all the bling bling installed on it. He's got, I think everything JC Whitney sells is gotten attached to it for the most part. Alright, so let me get this thing lined up on the lift. We'll get her up on the air, take a peek underneath, see what we got, and let's get this party started. Hopefully there's no crunching noises. The lift comes right through the floor. I think we should be alright. I don't know what that is. Backup buzzer? I'm liking the stars. I like those guys. Alright, let's that guy top out on the last safety. There it goes. Let's go get a flashlight, see what we got. And in we go. It's even got bling underneath. Somebody put pans in it. There's the pan half on that side. Not sure about this one. And that's part of what we're repairing. What a convertible has extra than a regular Beetle is this extra frame rail right here. Normally it's straight across with the bolt holes going up into the pan and just the bottom of the heater channel. And this one, these guys, because the roof has no added structure to it, it's all basically just, you know, once you open the doors you look across, you only have the height of the tunnel for the strength of the whole thing. You don't have the roof line, which kind of, you know, gave it support front and rear. So they add these guys. And they look pretty. I see some patches on them too. Patch on the end of that one. Got a bunch of undercoating on it too. That kind of sucks. And then I believe our next area of issue is whatever this is right here. Yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah, not much left of the structure there, huh? Oh, yeah. There's nothing tying that together. The whole thing's kind of pooched. Even that's not unlocked. Battery lights flashing. It's on both sides. Oh, that kind of sucks. Yeah, that is not tied to that. That's going to be a pain in the ass because it's not in an area easy to get to. And what do we got? We got the light getting you. Spin you around the other direction here. Alright. There's patches welded in. I guess we're going to end up doing more of the same of that. Unless I feel like cutting all that out. I don't feel like cutting all that out. Let's be frank. It's no show car, we're just looking to make it safe. So I guess we're going to probably try to tap on from there. Work our way forward. And that front's going to be a mess. We're probably going to end up pulling the gas tank out and pulling a bunch of stuff out of our way and have to climb up into the structure. I would say that's what we have to deal with. So I don't know, maybe we'll start easy, you start on the rails and work our way to the front. I'm not sure. I know we need to change the battery though. Getting close. 2 degrees, we're going to close the door. I must say it's nice seeing the sun for more than 15 minutes a day. It's a welcome change. I got the tires off of it and gives a little bit more room to go take a peek underneath, maybe do a little bit more surveying, and I think we're probably going to start on the main rails. So it looks like somebody took and just kind of fiberglassed over what was already rotted out. It does not do much for integrity. What do you think? Now that's going to be a mess. There's a wall that runs straight parallel with that. From here straight in is framed out. And I hope that is not spray foam I see in there, but I think it is. Might be. We got something going on here. Well, that looks like it's cracked. Yeah, the whole nose of this car is doing that. I think we're going to do the rails and then we're going to come back to this. I may go online and see what there is available for any kind of patchy kind of stuff, or just think into the construction of it a little bit. But we're going to go concentrate on the other part. I think this is going to be its own video in itself when we get into these. So let's get this other stuff done. Well, I'd say we make the shaky cam pisser part of this video. That's all gone. Okay, noise alert. You would think from the factory a couple of drain holes wouldn't be a bad idea, huh? It's looking like we are going to go. I just cut off. I would say for the most part it's just the center. Seems like the sides are pretty good, but the center is got nothing left to it all the way down. Let's get a tape measure. We'll get a width on this and see if there's any kind of square tubing that I have that was roughly this shape. I'd say we were looking at 2. That'd be 2 to the, maybe a 2 ID. let's see what I got. As I quickly look around the hoard a little bit, and the two things that I have is 1x2 tubing. This is what I did a lot of crusty out of, was built out of that, the frame. And the 1x1 left over from the Cushman. I got a bunch of this, and I was thinking possibly if I took that and sliced it on an angle, so you ended up with two pieces of angle, that we can kind of put them together. Might be a little bit easier to kind of fit. But I think trying to take like 10 feet of this and slice it and make two pieces of angle is going to be quite a bit of work. So I think it might be better just to wait till Monday to when the steel yard opens up and just get some 1-inch angle or something along those lines, better fitting to what we need instead of trying to cobble up what we have. So we might as well go back to looking at what we got going on up here, huh? See what isn't. It's not going to survive. And what's got a big pile of fiberglass over it, and what's actually metal. Yeah. I would say it goes up pretty far. I don't think that it has any spray foam in it, which is a good thing. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those. Let's see what this thing does, huh? Let's go with probably cutting back right around here. Get ourselves in there at least, and then we can kind of look at what we have. That is a tad rusty. That's not good. Tetanus up to date. Sometimes what happens is a mouse nest goes in there, and the mouse piss just corrodes the crap out of it too. That or just the nest itself will, the material will hold moisture. I don't see signs of that though. Who knows? Could have had a saltwater bath. It could just be old age. More shaky cam. Alright, so I beat on this a little bit, and at least it's got metal behind it. It's tied back to the pan. It's got a bunch of popcorny looking welds on it, but I'll leave that well enough alone. So there's a box or a channel that would have come all the way down and caught this point where these two bolts are, and then like a frame section that comes down. And then of course, you know, it was skinned with sheet metal down the front, and then skinned with sheet metal all through here. I would say our best bet, and of course, you know, the hole that's up there. The problem is in this area is this is the back of the steering box. These three bolts are the steering box location, so it gets a lot of torque. You know, you're going from right to left. Cranking on that, and this section is to the point where it looks like it's just pretty much floating I'm not sure if that's a factory line or if that's a kink or a bend that's starting to happen in that area. It does have a separate frame section in the front. Grab your light. That takes the brunt of most of the load, which is all this piece you're seeing here. Now that looks fairly decent. But again, everything mounting to the where that steering box is somewhat of an issue. I'm kind of contemplating whether I want to yank the suspension out of this corner of it to give us a little bit more access. We'll work around it. That's just the undercoating falling off, or is that breaking away also? Well, stop talking and start getting some work done. I'm going to slice back some of this material back in here, get us in there a little bit better, see if we can actually grab onto something up there to attach to and come back down from it. If I cut back some, as you can see, try to get access to it. I already took one bolt. There's two bolts that come up from the bottom, is what, you know, bolted the frame head through the pan to the upper section. See if we can get the second one out. My thought is, if we can get this plate out, maybe we'll build on that plate and then see if we can slide a unit in and weld it. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. So that is what originally it was attached to. I don't know if we even want to start with that. We may start with having to make our own, because that's going to turn to dust. Yeah, so maybe we come up with our own square channel that will some sort of boxed unit we can bolt onto. I don't even see much in the way of threads on any of that stuff anymore. Well, keep it for pattern. So I think next best bet is to start making some paper dolls of the shape that's in there. So I did the back and then going upward, try to get the right angle. That back wall's not square up and down. And I think we'll go make a piece for here. We're a little taller than that, so let's go with something like that. Let's go knock that down straight across. Got to get up into where there's good metal yet. So go to that. Looks like that back. Is that back on an angle? I think we can get away with leaving that pretty square. Clip it, and it looks like right there, and this guy can get backed up a little too. So there to there, let's go something like that. And then we're going to need go from the front there that. There's nothing in the front side there. Actually, I know what. So that. I'll look at that. I'm not sure if I want to make this wall the only wall for that side, which might be a plan, or because this drop down really doesn't have anything that it attaches to other than the back and the bottom, which it already is. But I'm not going to use, you know, everything here is like 18 gauge, 20 gauge. I'm going to be using 1/8 inch. So instead of me having 3 little thin plates, I may just try to get one solid section in there and then build onto that. Strength with thickness. So you know, that piece and that piece. We should be able to weld those two together and slide that in as a unit. The hard part's going to be getting up in there to weld that, and then across the back. So let me make some metal maybe. First part's already in there. Let's see, how did that one go? It was like that's what we were looking for. Here, too tall up here. Probably grab that with vice grips, just bend that forward for us. But the question is, when that is in there, am I going to be able to slide that in there as one unit? Well, depends on whether that slides out. No. No, it's not. So I actually just took this section right here, just bent it up out of our way so that we can get in there and work. We can curl them back down later. But those two pieces look decent. And again, I still have to drill the holes for that guy, which is going to be what bolts it down to the center. And I think what we're going to do now is come with the front section here. I'm going to cut it right here. We'll get this little bit of nothing chopped off of there and see if we can make one that comes up maybe another 1/2 inch past that. We'll grab right across there, and that should be the 3 pieces that we need to box that in. Maybe we'll be able to weld this one and this one together, slide it in there, put the last piece in, weld that, and then we'll start trying to cinch up and make other patches and start working our way out. But that's the deepest in we need to go. So we need to get this section reattached to that floor, that box in. I ended up going with 14 gauge too, not the 11, just for the reason if I need to be able to flex it a little bit to catch tacks and kind of bend a little bit. The 1/8 is a little too thick to try to do that with. So we're still thicker than what is factory, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got the plates kind of cleaned off the metal on the edges and drilled it, bolted that guy through, and cleaned up the surfaces that are going to get welded to there, and up there the best I can. We'll see how that goes as far as getting them buzzed on. I was going to try to weld these two together and then slip it in there, but I have a feeling we're probably just going to do our best right where it is. I don't know, I couldn't. Should slide in there, right? Yeah, maybe. I'll get a... Nah. Going back and forth. I'm going to try tacking it and see how it is to weld. The one good thing is I could probably run a weld across the back because I left the material overhang, so we could probably run a row right back through there too. So look at the welder out, see how it responds. If I feel I want to pull that out of there so I didn't get good enough a bond, I will. Well, I didn't show the welding because it was hard enough to get the welding gun in there, and there's no way that you guys were going to get in. So it's I buzzed it all in place. I didn't bother taking it out of there. I got it on the back side too. So it is now got the frame head reattached to the upper section of the body. That's boxed in pretty good. I think probably the next section we can kind of probably do is we could fold these back, and I think we're going to work on this side. This is the end of the heater channel that comes up, and it's gone. So I'm going to try tucking a piece, make a piece for here, but we're going to try tucking it in from behind and come right to this wall and see if we can probably do 2 plug welds to grab that lip, and we'll buzz that all the way around here and then across the top. Right, best bet. I know someone's going to start going on about the rust. You didn't get all the rust out of there, etc., etc. And I hear this every time. You know, all depends on where you live in the country and what your cars are like. In my area, this car, if you look down this heater channel, it's going to be the same all the way down, just nothing but rust. If you went to go and remove all the rust that is in here, you would not have a car left. It's just the, you know, plain fact of what we have to work with. You're in Texas and you work on nice clean stuff, different story. This is what we have to work with. I find the best bet is just try to grab some good metal somewhere, wherever the rusty stuff is, and I use bar and chain oil for chainsaw, you know, the lube for chainsaw. I shoot that in to these areas and kind of fill these cavities fairly decent with a bunch of oil. And as long as the oil is on there, it will definitely slow down the amount of rust to a crawl. The rest of the car will rot out way before this will continue to rust to the point where it's not connected anymore, or to the point where it just was. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And he's going to take it, once all the welding's done, he's actually going to go and brush on a bunch of it. Some sort. He may go with a different type, but you know, some kind of non-hardening sealer is what he's going to go on after all this is done. So, all right, let's continue moving onward. Let's take the air gun, blow some of the crap out of here, and see if we can make a patch for that area. So I took some time and ground the metal back, opened up the gap so that I could slide a piece of paper, roughly that shape, up behind there. So I was able to get that to fit with a piece of paper. So now I carved it out with metal too, and see if we can kind of make that curve to match that. So I'd say we need, I would say the curve is going to start, I want it in there like that. So I'd say between there and there on the bottom. Probably about the same thing. It looks like most of it. This one looks like it's more of a rounded corner, doesn't it? We're just going to beat it with a hammer on the vise anyway. Maybe we'll try a like a controlled bend with the air. See if we can. So we're going to want roughly there. You think? Way too much. Yeah, slightly overshot it. I gotta beat it on the vise, see if we can kind of roll some of that back out with a hammer. That's because I wasn't looking on an angle. I was looking from up here. Yeah, I would have done better opening the vise and taking a piece of pipe and laying over the top and putting a bend in it, but you don't know till you try, right? Be fine. Get rid of some of the I think we'll go over there and screw with that a little bit, see how that does for us. Yeah, see how close eyeballing it got us. Not too bad. I may take and open that space up a little. I'd say the bottom has to get rolled more. Top can stay like it is. Kind of hammer that into place. Plus, it's still coming up from behind. Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna go look on the other side. I do not believe this is supposed to be like this. I think this is supposed to be straight across, and this is just maybe something. So I did a little bit more prepping on that. Get the 2 holes for the plug welds to catch the upper part of that heater channel. And I think what I want to do now is probably going to want to put a tack here, we'll grab a tack there, and right there, right around there. That'll help hold it. Then I think I want to slice this back even with this line, or even before we do that, we'll tap it. We'll try to make it conform better to it. You know, use the body as the mold, and see how we can get closer to this line. It is curved in on the other side, but some of this lip I believe is missing, so I don't need to get it all the way back on the back side of the lip. As long as I can get to attached to that meaty section right behind there, I should be fine. So let me get a couple tacks on there, and let's tacks and taps. Yeah, that's it. I just got that tack. Let's see if we can get that guy to roll for us. So I tapped against it. Now I can see the line right there. So I'm going to come back with a whiz wheel, cut it right there, and see if we could tap it the rest of the way in. I got that pretty much cut out of my way. It's just holding on there by one of those. And hopefully now we should be able to run that the rest of the way in. I'd say we kick it up a little bit. See if we can drive that a little more stoutly. Ow. Should be good enough. Don't want to lose this on top neither. Should probably buzz that bottom lip. Let's just tap on that real light. Let's see what it does. I don't want this to get pushed that way at all. So I'm gonna buzz this up and this up, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna hammer along that line and see if we can get that to a little on the tighter side. Don't take too good of a whiff. I'm going to go and clean that cut up that I made. Shouldn't have done. And we're going to clean all these edges up, get them prepped for welding. I'll buzz that up. And then I think we can jump over to the front side. I think that'll close off that half of it, and now we can kick over to that end. I got to do the plug welds too. Hey guys, I'm starting to slow down. That's about it for me today. I'm going to go in. I thought to put a video together for you guys. Lasted the Cushman for a while. Alright, so it's all kind of buzzed back together and welded up. I feel confident that I tied into the chef's hat, the Napoleon's hat. It's a piece of tin that with the pan off, with the body off, it looks like a Napoleon's hat, comes down on each end. I am confident I got the end of that rebuilt. That looks like it's tied back to the frame the way it's supposed to be, to the pan rather, bolted. And I feel that I got this as best as possible on this end. Again, this is much thicker than it was before, and I'm tied back into the floor. And I caught what the heater channel, what was the end of it. 90% of the heater channels are gone in all these, in this location too. But I think I got as much strength as I can back in this corner, stitched up that boo-boo. And I think the next step is to bend this stuff back over again. And this is the outer wall for the steering box. So I think I'm going to take it and catch back in here. It looks like there's good metal back in here. We'll find out. We start hammering on it. I want to bring that down to here. So we're going to make a piece like that. Actually, probably this will be flat so we can come right on up. So we'll make a piece that does the same like we did over here. Attaching into that, and then we'll worry about boxing in the last bit. This is supposed to be open for drainage, so I'm not that concerned about the bottom of it. Normally the way it is on each side of it, you can see where the spot weld is there. There was, this piece came out and it was a flange outside of here, and then they were spot welded together, but I don't have the capacity to get in there to do that. You know, the car's all together, so that's why I'm using this corner lip here and trying to get as much 14 gauge reattached and supported onto that. And we'll do the same on that side. I think will work out well. And cover it all up. Now we still got that mess to deal with. So I'm going to wrap this video up here, guys. I think we've gotten a little somewhere though, and we'll continue on from there tomorrow morning. I want to get back out here and at least get this part back together. Just settling, that's all. The spring thaw. Grab one. Grab it, that one. Thank you. So now it's above and below freezing. It's 50 degrees today. I still do not see anything. Good. We're just gonna keep keeping an eye on it, and I do have another vent to go into the side, but I have stopped from putting that in because some of the people who make the containers say that they have venting that is supposed to help control that, and when you punch holes in it, it causes other issues. So, still watching.